evening, Canterbury. I'm Mike Yardley. Welcome to NewsMakers, where we debate the week's issues through Canterbury eyes. Joining us on the panel from the Central City Business Association, manager Paul Lonsdale, from Ellie Jones PR, Ellie Jones, and from Momentus PR, David Momentus, David Lynch. Well, I was just looking for a little bit of similarity between the companies. You could be Momentus Ellie.
I do not want to be Momentus Ellie, thank you.
You could be David Jones.
It's been done.
Oh, really?
It's been done.
All right, then. Let us start with Central City issues. Of course, we're just a week out from Christmas. I hope you've done your shopping. If you have not, there is one place you should go. It is within the 4 Abs. It's called the Central City. Have you been there lately? Many people don't seem to have been. If this is going to be a great opportunity post-earthquake to harness a new lease on life for the CBD, where do you think the focus needs to lie?
Well, there's a number of things. It's not just one item that's going to fix the Central City. Obviously, post-quake, the insurers are going to start getting the money out into the back to the building owners and to the businesses so they can actually start rebuilding themselves. The council is going to have to actually fast-track the consent process. This is going to hold things up. You know, there's some people trying to get building consents through, and there's the old pre-quake slow process is really hindering that coming through. So really important we get those through. They need to obviously work on the city plan long term, so that's going to help them give us some teeth to sort of start controlling some of the investment into the city. And the decentralisation of businesses out of this central part of the city, out to the suburbs, they know it's going to have a huge cost to the city, not just the Central City, but to the city, to the tune of about $44 million per annum if they don't stop it.
Before I open up these issues for wider discussion, this recent hoo-ha over the idea of a mall being anchored in the CBD, has this been taken out of context, misunderstood? Is that part of the answer?
Look, it's not so much about bringing a mall into the city. I think the Sticks Mill is senseless development because you've got the Palms 5 minutes away and you've got Palms 12 minutes away and Northland's 5 minutes away. Guiding that investment into the city, it's not actually a mall in the city, it's a investment of mall-size investment into the city. Now, currently the transport interchange is going to have a park on top of it. My suggestion was we don't have a park there because it's going to cause security issues and social issues, so we need to amend that. Having activity above it will be a better use of the space. Mall-side development, and when we talk ground floor retail, it does not have to be your traditional style retail. It could be a cinema complex with a supermarket, and above that you have office space with decent-sized floor plates that will encourage good quality businesses to come in and occupy them. And you would actually have also some accommodation and perhaps a car park stacker up the side. So not a mall in the traditional sense, mall-size investment. That would trigger other investment in the city.
Okay. Do you think the City Council, David, can come up with sufficient incentives to make the likes of the Stick Centre developers think twice about where they are going to locate?
I mean, I think many difficulties that are hindering the CBD are in fact attributed back to the City Council, in my opinion. I mean, the expansion of the tram, the council is sitting on reports that show some years ago when they did the analysis that the expansion of the tram wasn't going to do a great deal to reinvigorate the CBD, and yet they're spending tens of millions of dollars on that. The thing that concerns me is the criticism of these people coming to the city in the first place. It's easier for them to do these developments on greenfields where there aren't the restrictions and the hindrances. But what I think the City Council should be doing right now, and touching on something that Paul said, is that it desperately needs more planners to ensure it can deal with the resource consent requirements are going to be flooding in the new year. And so far, I've not seen any recommendation from the CEO to Council about the need to address this. That is probably the first thing that they should be doing. Having said that, I think a lot of the retailers actually need to look inwardly at themselves and look at, in fact, are they performing to the best of their ability despite the constraints around them. So there's a lot of issues there, but I have to say I think we've got a lot more decline in the CBD to go. And as for what Paul was saying about moving the commercial hubs or the commercial operations out to the suburbs, well, again, who's behind that? Again, the council and its wisdom some years ago.
All right. pick up on whatever themes you wish here, Ellie.
Okay, I've actually prepared statements for this evening's program because I'm so tired I'm unable to spin, put a whole sentence together. So I'll just read what I've prepared.
All right.
No, they actually need to hurry up and move on. I think you made that point. Paul, the delay is ridiculous, and I think the point David made about more planners. Light phasing in town is out of whack, always has been, is worse now that we've got more traffic on the roads. I know it sounds basic, but I am sick of being stuck at lights because the phasing's not right.
It's just another nuisance, isn't it?
Damn nuisance, actually. The movement of traffic around the city is key to getting people into the city as well. I also think giving away coffee and mince pies would probably help. Christmas mince pies, I think that's a lovely little... I'm serious, I think we need to sort of think a bit outside the square, as the actor said to the Bishop. I also think we need to get buskers into the city again. Seeing Hera perform outside the art gallery recently was just one of the best gigs I've seen, and people sat around. It was great. And lovely half-naked men to massage the feet of tired mothers everywhere, I think.
That's outrageously sexist.
I know, but
What do we
Christmas.
get for the Japs?
What do we get for the what?
What do we get for us?
I thought you said, what do we get for the Japs?
Oh, well, they've got north of Colombo Street, Cathedral Square, haven't they?
Okay, for the chaps?
The OK gift shop.
I think perhaps a little pat on the back and a rub on the shoulder is ample for the men.
Very nice. Any of those kind of novelties that people talk about, whether it be marauding musicians or whatever, are they actually going to help?
You have to be careful when you're talking events. Events like the Band Together, it was a great event, don't get me wrong, I think it was a fabulous event, brought the community together, but it actually killed trade in the city.
I'm not talking about events though.
But we're bringing in the horse-drawn tram. That's an activity in the city that's going to have some appeal.
Yeah.
It was very successful last year.
That starts next week, doesn't it?
That starts this Saturday.
Saturday,
So, and there's also the High Street group. They've got themselves together and they're putting a pop-up market. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And they're
We
looking
need
at
something simple like a magician here, or even kids doing violin stuff, or
Bit of fire
really
eating.
basic stuff. Absolutely.
Street performance, street theatre.
Yeah,
Not
so that
just in late January.
Absolutely, and the kids can sit there and the mothers can go off and do something else. No, you'd never leave your children, obviously. I mean that seriously. But something to just really simple.
As a point of difference to the malls.
It adds a bit of colour to the environment too. If you've got things that are happening, people do enjoy it. We had a lot of street performers out there last year during Christmas, and it does. You see people gather around. It brightens their day, and it makes us experience that a little bit better.
By the way, in the wake of the extended free parking, has there been any empirical evidence yet as to whether there has been an upswing in motorists?
Car park's full.
Right. Oh, well, there you go. Case rested.
Now, the average stay for those people is an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are people spending though?
Look, it's the spending issues in the city are located in funny areas. You've got some areas, some pockets that are not doing particularly well, but there are particular reasons for that. The council's moved from one side of the city to the other, so there's a couple of thousand people.
Yes.
Westpac are currently not in their building. There's 562 staff in there. That's had a massive impact on the city.
Huge.
So, and see, there's another issue that could be an issue long term if they don't return back to the city, and that's something that we're working on right now.
Let's hope they're not building a business park out in Sockburn. We'll take a break. We'll have a look at the state of some of these beleaguered businesses who are pleading for the government and the City Council to help them. We'll have a look at that shortly, and also a range of other issues. Do stay with us.